As we've seen, it's boxed in the actor until he can do very little more than mix a very dry martini. It's seriously diminished the number of things he can do. It's had another curious effect. At the same time, it has seriously diminished the number of things that a playwright can say. Well, now, that sounds extravagant, if not absurd. After all, isn't our contemporary playwright perfectly free to take any subject he likes and go on and on and on about it? Yes, he is. He's free to use any ideas he likes. But he's not free to use any words or even emotions he likes. Let me show you. Think back a moment to Oedipus the King, out in the open in that Greek amphitheater of his, wrestling with the problem of his own fate. Suppose, then, for a moment that you could dress Oedipus in contemporary clothes, walk him into our modern box set, and have him speak the same words at the same emotional intensity.
Am I all evil, then? It must be so, since I must flee from Thebes, yet never again see my own countrymen, my own country, for fear of joining my mother in marriage and killing Polybus, my father. If I were created so, born to this fate, who then can deny the savagery of God? O holy majesty of heavenly powers, may I never live to see this fate. Never. Rather, let me vanish from the race of men than know the abomination destined me.
We'll get rid of that lamp yet. Now, you may have noticed a slight disproportion here. It's not just that one or two of the words are out of place in this setting. It's really that the sheer size of the emotion itself is out of place in a living room. In living rooms, we behave ourselves. We tend to suppress what we're feeling. We betray our feelings in little things. We don't announce them in great, big, passionate speeches. The science of psychology has taught us that in real life we spend far more time concealing our emotions than revealing them. In fact, we're embarrassed to reveal such things as this. And that's why this revelation is embarrassing here. But what if the underlying emotion is real? What if it deserves to be expressed? When Othello was dying, he came right out and said everything he felt. And he said it magnificently.
Soft you, a word or two before you go. I have done the state some service, and they know it. No more of that. I pray you, in your letters, when you shall these unlucky deeds relate, speak of me as I am, nothing extenuate, nor set down aught in malice. Then must you speak of one that loved not wisely, but too well. Of one not easily jealous, but being wroth, perplexed in the extreme. Of one whose hand, like the base Indian, threw a pearl away richer than all his tribe. Of one whose subdued eyes, albeit unused to the melting mood, dropped tears as fast as the Arabian trees their medicine gun. Set you down this, and say besides that in Aleppo once, where a malignant and a turbaned Turk beat a Venetian, introduced the state, I took by the throat the circumcised dog and smote him the... I kiss thee ere I kill thee. No way but this, killing myself to die upon a kiss.
Of course, that isn't exactly real. People who are so wrought up don't speak so coherently, certainly not so beautifully. And over the years since Shakespeare wrote that speech, our steady concern has been to become more real, to make our characters speak the way people do speak when difficult things are happening to them. By the middle of the 18th century, for instance, in a play called The Gambler, we had begun to treat dying people like this.
Give me your hand, love. So raise me. No, it will not be. My life is finished. Oh, for a few short moments to tell you how my heart bleeds for you, that even now, thus dying as I am, fearful and dubious of hereafter, my bosom pang is for your miseries. Support, O heaven. Now I go, oh mercy.
You see, that's better, in a manner of speaking. That is, in its broken and garbled and gasping way, it's closer to the way people do sound when they're dying. In the 19th century, we got closer still. We sometimes imagine that the 19th century was rather a riot of language, of flowery phrases and rich purple prose. It wasn't. Not in the theater, anyway. Do you know what little Eva said when she lay dying in the middle of the 19th century?
Sinclair, cousin, what is it now?
Hush, she's dying.
Dying.
Oh, if only she'd speak once more. Eva, darling, don't you know me, Eva?
Dear Papa.
Oh, heavens, this is dreadful. It's killing me.
Look at her now.
Eva! Oh, she doesn't hear. Eva, darling, tell us what you see. What is it?
Oh, love. Joy. Peace.
You see, you can hardly get a word out of the poor girl, which, realistically speaking, is just about as it should be. Not that we haven't made still further improvements since then. Now, in our realistic, scientifically exact 20th century, we do it more or less like this.
Where's the doctor now? He's with Georgie.
Mrs. Gordon.
You mean?
We've got this thing licked. Since most people die in their beds, certainly not all over the living room furniture, we get them into their beds, off stage, where they can die in peace and without the strain of a valedictory. And we convey the news not so much in language as in pregnant pauses and a really respectful silence. It's not only more real, it's easier. The playwright doesn't have to write anything. In fact, we've tied the playwright's tongue.